Hi, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be viewing my January book journal. You'll see me setting it up. You'll see each of my 4 check-ins for the month where I give my thoughts on my books and record them. I really selected this last year. That's why I'm doing them in these videos. Keep me accountable. And then we'll do my stats at the end of the month. So let's get into, you can see me setting up my January TBR. I play a TBR game every month. I have monthly challenges too, so those are all going here so I can reference them. If you want to know more about these books, please check out my TBR video. I will link it at the end below in places. Okay, so check-in 1. I read 3 books for my first check-in. The first is Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. As you can see, it was a reread. It wasn't as good as I remembered it being, which is unfortunately not a surprise for me. It wasn't as badass as I thought. I didn't like getting the bad guys' point of views. It seemed redundant. I already knew what was going on with them. I don't really need to be shown evil for evil's sake. I'd rather just watch the good guys battle it, unless we're supposed to be rooting for the bad guy. I can totally get behind that, but that's not what we were doing. So it is a 3.5 star-ish rating. Book 2 was A Deal with the Elf King, and this was a 4-star read. I really enjoyed it. It hit the marks. It just seemed to happen a little quick, which is at least it wasn't too slow. So really enjoyed it. We'll continue the series. Book 3 was Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, and I've read one of her books before. Absolutely loved it. Loved this book. Holy shit, the tension they built, the mysteries, the political intrigue was terrifying. It was my first 5-star of the year. Check-in 2, we have 3 more books. First is Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls, and I DNF'd it at about 31%. I was just kind of bored. I usually am with classics. I will just go watch the movie. Book 2 was The Brightest Night by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book, hellacious cliffhanger, and then I realized there's no book 4. Book 4 is probably not going to come out, which makes me so upset. But reading book 2 didn't feel like book 2 in a trilogy, but you know that we're kind of setting up all these things that are going to happen at the end. Like in most trilogies, book 2 is. That's what this one felt like, and it was okay. You can see I'm pretty low tech. I'm just cutting with my scissors to get my star ratings. I do the same thing with my book covers. It's just sticker paper, a printer, and some scissors. I swear, it's nothing fancy. Anyway, it's 3.75 stars. The next book was None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and I called the ending in this. However, so I just kind of knew that the main crazy girl, just the way she said things, made me pick up on going, okay, this is what the thread is, this is what the twist is. And I was right. They didn't take away from the high tension in this. I still wanted to watch it happen because I didn't know exactly all the little details. I just knew the general twist was going to be. And oh my gosh, and I really liked how she put this together. So this is my second 5-star read of the year. So check-in number 3, we have Brad Thor's Alliance of Lucerne. This was my dad's recommendation. It went by really fast and a lot happened for as long as it was. Only negative was kind of the description of the weapons. I really didn't care, but those parts weren't for me, so I have to keep that in mind. Also, y'all, if you want an update on my year-long challenges, let me know. I am totally filming me filling out my challenges. They're just not in here because it's a lot of me just sticking down stickers. Thought about doing it quarterly. If you want to see that, let me know. Anyways, the next book, I only had 2 for this check-in, was A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. I've wanted to read this story for a long time. I'm really excited to be in this series. And I love Sherlock Holmes. I watched so many Sherlock retakes, remakes, and all those things. And even read the original Sherlocks. This had a lot of great Sherlock canon, and it was built on the original very nicely. And I really love the banter between these two. That made me so happy. I love banter. Okay. And our 4th check-in. So here are our last 3 books that I read in January. I, Robot by Isaac Asimov was a recommendation from a former student of mine. He loved Isaac Asimov, and this is a classic sci-fi, so I figured, yes, I need to read this. As usual with a classic, I was kind of bored. So I think there's 8 stories in this, and most of them are so much just speculation and dialogue, and, oh, but what if this happens? But what if this happens? Well, I'd rather see it happening and the consequences of it happening, which we do see in 3 out of the 8 stories. So I liked 3 of the stories. The other 5 were meh, so this is more of a 2.5 read for me. I just wanted more action. Our next one is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This was my read-along pick, and it was such a success for me. I love Carissa Broadbent. Her characters are always so broken and human, even though they're not human most of the time, and her world building is also great. So this was my 3rd 5-star of the year, and very, very happy with it. Finally, I read These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan S. Spooner. I am so glad I started this series. It's a TBR vet, so it's been on my list for a long time. And I decided, and it didn't go like I thought it was going to go, which is great for me because I usually predict things and I love it when I cannot predict something. So she did well on this. Almost gave it a 5-star. Looks like it's 4.75. It was so close. I can't really explain other than I kind of wanted a little bit more romance between them. There was a lot of tension, there was a lot of fighting, and there was romance. I just wanted, at the end, I felt like it needed just another thing, if that makes sense. Okay, well, let's get on to January stats. As you can see, I read 11 books. I read 4,288 pages, and my audio minutes come up to 4 days, 19 hours, 23 minutes, and 48 seconds of reading in January. Now, I read at 1.75 speed, so you can divide that by 1.75, and that's how much time I actually spent reading. My favorite and least favorite book of the month, The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, was my favorite. This was a really hard pick between the top three, the 3 5-stars that I had. This one just edged out a little bit more. It is in my preferred genre, so that's probably why it was by one of my favorite authors, so, you know. And then, of course, my Diana was my worst book. And you can see I'm just kind of splitting things up into stats. I like the look of this. I'm not going to go through this too bad, but you can see. And then I'm going to fill out my book pixels. Let me know what you guys think of them all being green. Green is my favorite color. That's why I chose that. I used to have them all different colors last year, which I will link a video that shows me filling out my book pixels for the year. But I'm thinking of doing it keep doing it in the all green, or maybe changing each month. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Probably going to keep it green, to be honest with you. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And y'all, thank you for being here with me. Let me know how your January went. If you read any of these books, if you have any recommendations based on what I liked and what I didn't. Put that in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Okay, thanks for being here. Bye!